a cruise ship. And the latest update we are getting is that passengers aboard the MV Honduras have adopted strict health protocols, which was also similar to that of the COVID-19 era, as authorities across multiple countries investigate an outbreak of a rare hantavirus disease that has been linked to several deaths. Now, the outbreak has prompted coordinated international responses, with Spain confirming plans to receive the vessel in the Canary Islands, despite objections from regional authorities. According to Spain's health minister, Monica Garcia, she said that the ship will dock in a place known as Tenerife, where the passengers will be able to return home if they are medically fit to travel. Now, on board the ship, passengers have been instructed to maintain distancing, wear masks, and adhere to strict hygiene practices. Dining arrangements have also been modified, with seating spaced out and sanitizer stations installed throughout the vessel. This is not big grammar, right? I don't know if you understand what I read out. All of those precautionary measures we experienced during COVID-19 is what these passengers on board the ship are actually doing. And as of yesterday, I think they wanted to dock in one of the countries. I can't remember that particular country, but they refused. They said, no, make una dey on top water first.
Yes, no.
Stay there, until we find a solution before you come. But these people are there. They may run out of supplies. You understand? So now Spain has taken it upon themselves, and they say, okay, oh yeah, come. Don't worry. You can now finally dock at our borders.
Okay.
However, we're still going to do the routine check on you. And then if you're fit, yes, we'll allow you to be reunited with your family members. So let's see how that is going to turn out. But however, the signs of the hantavirus mimic that of Lassa fever somehow, and is transmitted by rodents as well. Yes. So let's not be surprised. Maybe this is the elder brother to Lassa fever. We don't know. It's very possible. Okay, and after that, we have another update this morning. And we're getting the sad information that at least 34 people have died and 254 others have been infected following meningitis outbreak across 9 local government areas of Sokoto State. Now, the development was confirmed yesterday by the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Farouk Abubakar Wono, who said the outbreak had spread across multiple communities, prompting urgent government response measures. He went on to disclose that many of the deaths occurred at home before medical intervention, noting that some residents initially attributed the illness to spiritual causes or mysterious circumstances which delayed access to treatment. Now, he explained that meningitis is a serious infection of the brain and spinal cord membranes, which spreads through respiratory droplets, particularly in crowded and poorly ventilated environments. I will stop there. It is self-explanatory. And that takes me back to what I always try to do on the program. Now, people believe in a lot of myths, right? Spiritual cases here and there. You have symptoms of malaria, you have symptoms of typhoid, or maybe all of a sudden, just like the way Dawn is sitting on this chair now and her leg starts to swell. I'm giving an example. It could be due to over-sitting or sitting for a long time, right? Depending on your body. The next thing, the person starts to say, Atako, they have sent me something. So the information we are getting is that why we have this number of, casualties or death is because they initially attributed meningitis to spiritual cases. So we have to be extremely careful and well informed. All the information we bring here is because we want you to be aware of what is going on. Majority of us are enlightened. Majority of us are educated. But unfortunately, we do not know these basics. Yes, we don't make use of it. Many people went to the higher institution, just follow the normal routine. GST 101 and all of those courses without even reading
or putting to practice.
Yes,
or getting to know.
You being educated is not all about your course alone. If I tell you what I studied, you'll be amazed. But trust me, if you set an examination between me and a nursing student, I go wipe that. I go wipe that paper. Yes, I'm telling you with all confidence, and I'm so confident about that, right?
Yeah.
And that's because we try to read. So do not just remain where you are. It's not related to your course, I know, but anything you see that is newsworthy, that is going to add to the knowledge that you have, read widely. We have lost our reading culture. I don't want to go deep.
It's true.
Social media, the only thing you think about these days is skits. You're watching skits. It's good to watch so that you can also contribute to, the earnings that these people have. But in as much as we're trying to encourage all of those things, we are using this medium to preach to you, to try to read. Google is your friend.
Yeah.
If there's an epidemic or a health situation you are not too sure of, if go see a doctor immediately. But if it's something that needs home remedies, you can read about it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as ABC. Okay, so shall we go over to the topic for today?
Okay.
And yes, though it might sound like ordinary day information, right? But this is necessary. This
really,
is
really
important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hypertension and its link to sudden death.
Hypertension.
Yeah.
People don't even know that that's what is called, what do they call it again? Or high BP. That's what people call it, high BP, right?
Yeah.
High blood pressure.
Yeah.
That's another name for hypertension. In as much as we hear of hypertension almost every day, we hear of, for instance, diabetes.
Yeah.
These are like ailments that, in fact, is now normalized to some extent. When you even tell some people, oh, I have high blood pressure, the next thing they start to, not be only you now, this thing don't do there right from time. Don't worry, you will survive. So to some people, it is a normal thing. And that's why it seems more like people are not conscious.
Very good.
They don't want to
Yes.
go ahead to check their blood pressure and all of
They
that.
just need to go off
Thank you.
if
So
they relax
exactly.
or take good rest.
Yes. So it's a major public health concern, right? And we'll try as much as we can to link it to sudden death. The rate at which people are dropping dead is alarming.
Yeah.
Trust me. Okay. And then joining us this morning, we'll have a guest join us via the phone, Dr. Kamilan Iwala, general practitioner, lifestyle coach, head counseling and consultation unit, Everite Diagnostics. Good morning, Dr. Kamiland. Are you there?
Good morning.
Oh my goodness, I just hope that he can hear us. Can you hear us, Dr. Kamiland? Yeah, somehow he cannot hear us. We'll have to reconnect with him and, go ahead with the conversation. I'm trying to reconnect with Dr. Kamiland right now. And I hope that he doesn't have a patient, because at this time of the day, majority of the doctors that we have
are going around
word
to check
round.
their patients.
That's what they do, by this time. So, but let's hope that he'll be able to squeeze out at least 20 to 25 minutes of his time. And it's ringing. We're waiting patiently. I really do not know why this is not connecting, but let's keep trying. I want to crave your indulgence. In the next 2 minutes, we'll bounce back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so we seem to be experiencing a little hitch, but we're trying to sort it out. And while we're trying to do that, let's go on a quick musical break. In the next 3, 4, 5 minutes, we'll bounce back. Please do not move an inch. This is still Health Revolution right here on Echo FM 100.7.
Show me who they for me. Make I know they pop rose with my enemy. Scatter them far away across the 7 seas. Help away they disguise na principality. Oh Lord have mercy, mercy. This fake love done they plenty, plenty. Then they try to man dirty, dirty. Ja, man, ja, shessy, yo, yo. Who born the person, person? They won't cross me, make them try me, try me. Red eye, no more body. Can't kill my light, I'm sorry, oh. When I show, when they make way when I show. When they can say that I go the boss, I go the dengue, I go the boss. Then go back up, when I show. When they make way when I show. When they can say that I go the boss, I go the dengue, I go the boss. Then go back up, as you can see, I'm just beginning, and I trouble nobody, so make nobody bother me. Yeah.
Okay, you're still tuned to Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. Let's see if we can now hear Dr. Kamilan. Good, Dr. Kamilan Iwala.
Good morning, listeners, and good morning, Mary. Good morning, everyone. How everybody doing today?
Yes, we are doing great. Absolutely amazing, and thank you so much. Finally, we get to hear your voice. We've been trying for the past 5 minutes. Network has been very poor. Okay.
Very, very poor.
Yes. All right. You're welcome, Dr. Kamiland. So,
thank you very much.
Quickly, let me read out the statistics, right? And hypertension, as we already know, is a major public health crisis in the country. The statistic shows that there's an estimated prevalence of 30% to 34% among adults, which represents over 27 million people, and the prevalence keeps rising. So I don't know if you heard what I just read out, but research shows that the prevalence of hypertension in at least 1 to 3 Nigerian adults is about 29% of individuals. I don't know how I'm going to put this, but it says that 29% of individuals are aware that they have it, while some percentage have their blood pressure under control, but that percentage is very, very small, very low.
Yeah.
So should we be worried? Why does this keep increasing? Why is the statistics high?
Thank you very much, Mary, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Again.
Don is here. My colleague is here as well, George Don.
Yeah, good morning, everyone in the studio. Mm-hmm. Okay, the statistics is increasing because we have a population explosion in Africa. Okay, so and then apart from population explosion, we also know that we are also aging. Is it not so?
Yeah.
So as we are aging, all these diseases are coming up, primary hypertension. And then there is also a lot of things have been linked to diet, obesity, inactivity, and all that. So those are some of the things that are now coming up on the table before now. There were diseases before that were unheard of. They are coming up on the table because we are living longer, we are staying more, we are eating the westernized diet right now. We have moved away from the farms. So all these diseases have started coming up, and the statistics keeps increasing and increasing.
Okay, so you feel that we need to really, look into our diet, our lifestyle, and make some modifications here and there. Maybe there will be a drop in the numbers. Is that what you're saying?
Excellently. On a global scale, everybody needs to be involved. Like I keep saying anytime I come on air, that it's not something that the doctors only can handle. Everybody that has a brother, a sister, and a cousin, a father, a mother should be involved in sensitizing people, educating people on the dangers of hypertension and the complications, particularly among elderly people and people who don't check their blood pressure, maybe in the rural areas and other where there is poor access to health care. Everybody must be involved. You know, these machines are not commonly available. You can just buy it in simple ones to be checking at home. Okay, so everybody can be involved. At least Isusu people can gather together, women group gather and get a machine, one for them, so that when they gather for meetings, they can check their blood pressure, and everybody should know their blood pressure, because the machine is automated. Once it is high, it will tell you, oh, this one is high, see a doctor. So everybody is involved now to be able to sensitize people to say, check your blood pressure. What is it? Is it high? If it's high, go and see a doctor.
Okay. So let's go back to the basics, right? Remind us, refresh our memories again. Hypertension, what should we know?
Okay, thank you very much. So let's talk about hypertension. Now, I want our listeners to understand that the blood is moving within a closed system, very, very highly closed. So, and then there is a pump that pumps this blood around the whole body. That pump is called the heart. So the heart and the blood vessels put together form a system we call the cardiovascular system, right? Now, as the blood is pumping out blood within this very tight space, it has a certain force it is pumping out this blood with. And that force must not go beyond a certain limit. Now, we are measuring this force indirectly by using the sphygmomanometer, what we call the blood pressure machine. And we know that the normal force of the heart is around 120/80, ideally, but no more than 130/80. Okay? So once the heart is pumping blood at this pressure, let the pressure not go beyond 130/80 for anybody. Let it be below. If it is pumping at this optimal blood pressure or the force, then the organs of the body where this blood is circulating are protected. But if the pressure increases beyond 130/80 to, let's say, 140/90, 150/100, beyond, yesterday I saw a blood pressure of 230/120, and the woman is not even aware. She's not aware. She just say, my head is aching me, my head is banging me inside.
My God.
And I'm saying, madam, look at your blood pressure. She said, what? I don't even know. Have you been hypertensive before? No. Have you taken medication before? I don't know.
230.
230/120. That's what I saw yesterday. Let's look at it this way. As the blood is pumping this pressure, it is hitting on organ. It's just like a carpenter hitting bill on the table. When you come after 1 week of hitting that table, you see dents on that table. Is that so?
Very true.
So that's what is happening within the system. Now, the blood vessels are scattered all over the body. There are blood vessels in the brain. There are blood vessels in the eyes. There are blood vessels in the heart. There are blood vessels in the chest, the lungs. There are blood vessels in the liver. There are blood vessels in the kidneys. There are blood vessels in our reproductive organs. As the blood is, as the force of increased pressure is increasing, as the heart is pumping bill on the blood vessels, what it's doing is that these blood vessels are trying to accommodate this pressure by expanding. Right? They are trying to take up the blow from the heart. As they're taking up the increased blow from the heart, wherever they are, the blood vessels are also expanding, forming what we call aneurysms. Okay? Aneurysms simply means that the blood vessels are elastic now. They are dilated beyond a certain limit, or they are bulging. They are becoming bulgous. Do you understand?
Yes.
So as the blood pressure is increasing, the blood vessels, let's say it's increasing in the brain, it will go and form something like a dilation or an expansion within a blood system in the brain. It can form it in the eyes, it can form it in the heart, it can form it in the kidney, it can form it in the liver, it can form it in the reproductive organ, the penile area. If by some mistake the blood pressure increases suddenly to like 240, 230, and this person is not aware, there's no control, there's no check, it can burst this blood vessel in the brain, and blood will begin to bleed within the brain. When it happens in the brain, it is called a stroke. When it happens in the heart, it's called a heart arrest or cardiac arrest. If it happens in the eyes, it's called glaucoma or retinopathy. If it happens in the kidneys, it can lead to kidney failure. Are you getting it? Then If it happens within the bigger blood vessels, there are bigger blood vessels that flow within the abdomen and other parts of the body. We call it aorta. If you get burst in the aorta, we call it aortic dissection, meaning that the artery has burst and blood begins to flow. So that's why you see sudden death. Sudden death is when suddenly somebody's blood vessel in the brain bursts at night. He's not aware. He bleeds within his brain, he dies. If he bursts in your heart, you bleed within your heart, you have a heart arrest, and then they start talking about the person has fainted suddenly and the person cannot breathe anymore. If it happens in the kidney, you have a kidney failure. If it happens in the liver, it's a liver failure and all that. So the ones that are critical for us are stroke, number one for sudden death is stroke, number one. Number two is heart attack or heart arrest. Okay. Number three is aortic dissection, which is bleeding suddenly in the aorta, and then the eyes, which is maybe a blood vessel burst in the eyes. It just flows out. So those things are causes of sudden death syndrome. So sudden death syndrome is defined as somebody just suddenly slumps in the public or in their sleep and is unable to be revived or resuscitated. It can be from stroke, it can be from heart arrest, it can be from a bleeding internal vessel that happens directly as a result of the increased pressure coming from the heart.
All right. So quickly, just to take you back to what you said, when these blood vessels get to burst, are there chances of survival for that person at all? Any chance?
Yes, there are chances of survival. So 4 minutes of being aware that there's something has occurred. Because I'm going to list out some of the symptoms. How you know you have an imminent stroke is that there's suddenly you start seeing yourself having severe headache, banging headache, sustained headache for 2-3 days. Your head is banging you as if they're pounding inside your head and your ears. You are even aware in your heart. You are feeling as if your heart is beating you. That is a sign that the blood pressure has increased. And whenever you are aware, let me make our listeners to understand that this thing called hypertension has no symptoms. There's no where you go and say symptom of hypertension is this. No, hypertension has no symptoms. It's a silent killer. Whenever you start hearing somebody having symptoms, it means that there's already a complication going on. Let me give you an example. If you have a symptom, let's say you're aware of your heartbeat, you now begin to see your heartbeat is pounding and pounding. It means that your heart has developed an electrical disorder called arrhythmia. Then you begin to be aware about your heartbeat. If you start having severe headache, that means the blood vessels are expanding and blood edema is building up in your brain. Edema is what is called water. Fluid is gathering on in your brain and increasing your intrabrainal pressure. That means the pressure of your brain is increasing. You start having the severe headache. So it's a complication of hypertension. So any symptom you see in your body showing that you have blood pressure is already a serious symptom for the brain. If the blood pressure should go beyond 180, going to 190, you start having this severe headache. That severe headache is cerebral edema. It's already causing complication in the brain. It's already causing damage of the blood vessels of the brain. If left unchecked, even if you don't have a stroke, you could end up having a dementia in the future because once the blood pressure increases, the cells of the brain die off because of the sustained edema. Okay? Then it is in the eyes. If the blood pressure of the eyes increases, it leads to what we call vision loss, progressive vision loss, or what is called glaucoma, or retinopathy. Retinopathies are where the retina is damaged, or retinal detachment. Then somebody suddenly stops seeing, and in the middle of the day, you don't know what happened. If you check your blood pressure, the rest of your blood pressure has been significantly high, and you're not aware about it. Then the heart. For the heart can become arrhythmic. Arrhythmia means it's irregular because the blood pressure is increasing so much that the vessels that supply the heart, they become very, very dilated and or become narrow, okay? And then they begin to form spasms. Before you know it, the person is having pain, irregular heartbeat, severe pain, breathing difficulties, tiredness on exhaustion. Maybe you try to do little things, you get tired, skipping of heartbeat, or these palpitations and all that means that already the heart is developing complications. Okay? Then let's talk about the aortic dissection. The aortic dissection is that suddenly there's the tummy begins to get bigger. Some people can even put their hands on their abdomen. They begin to feel a pulsation like this on their abdomen. It's pulsating. It's pulsating. If you go and check that big blood vessel that enters there, which is the highly sensitive one that can easily get burst, you realize that blood vessel are dilated. So the doctor will have to come in and try to put a stent around it. A stent is like a protection or build a wall around it so that it doesn't get dilated. But if you have not taken care of the hypertension, just know that no matter whatever you do, you can still get burst.
Wow.
So that artery in the abdomen can burst, and blood vessels and blood will just seep out suddenly in the night or during the day, and before you resuscitate the person, because these things, you don't really know when the blood vessel get burst.
Yes.
And then the person just slumps.
Oh my.
Okay. So how you know is that somebody just faints in the market. Once anybody faints in the market, please 911. Everybody around you. You don't have this emergency services. Rush the person to the hospital as quickly as possible, so that the doctor can know what to do.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
The next question is, what are those types? So the next question is, what are the
types?
Yeah, the types of hypertension.
Okay. Thank you very much. So there are two kinds of hypertension. Generally, we call primary hypertension and secondary hypertension. Okay. For the primary hypertension, we are talking about essential hypertension that just occurs as a result of our genetics or our aging. Okay, but nobody really knows for sure what causes this sudden increase in hypertension. So it's common, and the majority of people have this problem. So this genetic issue, genetic is an inheritance. You inherited something from your father. You don't notice that your father is hypertensive, your mother is hypertensive, okay? And you suddenly, at 24, 34, somebody starts developing high blood pressure, okay?
Yeah.
It's essential or primary. This one, I don't know what causes it. Not as if it's your sins are making. Some people, why me? Maybe I did it. Nothing you did, it just came. It's called primary hypertension, and most people have this as a result of genetics or the normal aging process.
Okay.
The second kind of hypertension is secondary hypertension.
Yeah.
When we talk about secondary hypertension, we mean a particular organ or something else is triggering the hypertension that is different from a primary hypertension. Let me give you a commonest cause. The common one is kidney. Once somebody develops a kidney disease, for example, if you raise the blood pressure through a negative feedback mechanism, just a long, big grammar of that, the body will try to adapt to balance the excess pressure coming from the failure of the kidney. Okay? So it will raise the blood pressure. Then there is a gland that is found on top of the kidneys called adrenal gland. This adrenal gland secretes some specific hormones that help us to do things in the body. It helps to balance stress. Okay? So if this particular gland has a problem, it will lead to a hormonal imbalance we call hyperaldosteronism. So let me just group it into broadly hormonal imbalances. Hormonal imbalances that can lead to high blood pressure will be thyroid disease. Sometimes you have a thyroid problem. I don't know whether you've seen a thyroid. A thyroid gland is the gland that is on the neck.
Yes.
You can see people bulging. Yes.
Yes.
If this one becomes toxic, if the thyroid becomes toxic, it can lead to increase in blood pressure. Okay? Then if that gland I talked about, adrenal glands on top of the kidney, if they have a problem, it can bring a very serious hypertension, particularly in children. That's why when children come in at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, and they have hypertension, the doctor immediately checks the adrenal glands, because that would mean the adrenals are having a problem. Okay? And once you check the adrenals, you see the hormones are very, very high and out of place. And they will begin to shut down the hormones, and they feel very, very better. So children can also have hypertension. That's why sometimes when children are ill, they go to the hospital. We also encourage their doctor to check their blood pressure, because they could have secondary hypertension going on and nobody be aware about.
Wonderful.
So there's a primary hypertension and there's a secondary hypertension.
Wonderful,
Wow,
wonderful.
much.
A lot of people do not know that children can come down with this particular issue we are talking about right now. So now you have listed primary, you have listed secondary. Are there certain situations that could occur that can trigger someone's hypertension? For instance, I know of someone, right? The moment he's outside the hospital, he's fine. The moment he goes into the hospital premises, goes to check his blood pressure, the thing goes up immediately. So they told him it's called the white coat.
White coat hypertension.
Thank you. Abel, help me. They told him that's what it's called. So please explain.
Well, generally, stress or emotional instability can also alter the blood pressure of somebody. Let's say you hear bad news, for example. It can make your hormones to become unstable, your heart will increase and all that. That increase in pressure on your heart racing faster and also rise up your blood pressure, which explains why somebody walks into the hospital and he's scared. He doesn't know what the doctor is going to say next. Yeah. Maybe the doctor is going to bring a bad news, and you always bring in a diagnosis that will scare somebody and say, these doctors have come again. So he's uncertain. He lives in a state of fear. That short period while he's in the doctor or trying to see a doctor, people have come to check their blood pressure, and they are perfectly normal people. They just check their blood pressure, they realize that their blood pressure is very high. And that's the reason why we don't define hypertension with one blood pressure reading. We define it with more than one. Actually, I take 2 readings at 2 different times. So if you walk into the hospital and your blood pressure is say 170/100, I don't just take it, except I have a other history that maybe you tell me that sometimes in the past it has been high. So hypertension essentially defined as if you have a sustained increase in blood pressure beyond 130/80 in 2 readings at 2 different times. That means you come today, we check your blood pressure is high. We say, go and have a sleep, go for exercise, rest, go. Come in the morning, 6 hours after, 12 hours after. We check you early in the morning when you have not done anything. And then if you are getting the same blood pressure, 170/100, then we cannot diagnose hypertension. But some people have come back in the morning, they slept very well, the stress has gone away, and they're very relaxed. And maybe they now see a friendly doctor. And the doctor asks them about how they slept, discuss a match with them, talk about politics, and while they are discussing politics and they're very happy, they check their blood pressure. As in suddenly realize their blood pressure is normal. So that's what we call the white coat hypertension. So it can occur as a result of brief transient fear that can happen within the healthcare system.
Okay, well explained. Thank you so much, Dr. Iwala. Let's open up the phone lines now for people who would want to be a part of the conversation and, contribute to what we are saying this morning.
Okay, and the phone line to call is 0911 20022 0707 454 1014.
All right, we are live on Facebook at Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. Go like, share your comments, drop your comments as well. And the topic for today is hypertension, and it's linked to sudden death. People are dying on daily basis, and some people are living with hypertension, what we call high BP, high blood pressure, and they do not know. It's a serious issue. And now Dr. Iwala is telling us that even children can be diagnosed with hypertension. All right, let's go to the phone lines.
Hello.
Hello, Miriam. Good night.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Let's go. I'm Jeremiah from Webber.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Please, I want to confirm something like
Yeah, hold on. I will respond. Just Dr. Iwala, stay on the line.
Like the doctor have explained.
Okay.
I know of a person that have a low blood pressure, but he's having.
Oh, are you there?
Blood pressure. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, the person has low blood pressure, but what?
That person has glaucoma. Does that mean that low blood pressure also can lead to glaucoma?
All right. Thank you for your question. We'll respond in few minutes. Hello. And we lost that particular call. Keep your calls coming in 0911 20022 0707 454
1014. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Lindy and John.
Good morning.
I also greet the doctor there.
Thank you.
I'm Broshedra calling from Ikenegbowe.
You're welcome.
Okay, just like the young man who asked question now.
Okay.
Because you centered only on high blood pressure. What about low blood pressure?
That's not the focus for today, okay? That would be... Yes, it's quite different. So we'll talk about that some other day. But you can go ahead and ask your question quickly.
There was a time I had an encounter.
Okay. Okay.
I was rushed to hospital overnight.
Okay.
When I reached there, the doctor was not around.
Okay.
The nurses did everything they could to revive me to life. Even at the point, my pulse and everything had ceased moving.
Oh my God.
And something happened that night. The nurse, after trying every other thing she could do, it didn't work. The needle was not going to put what do you call it?
The IV.
Nothing was going on because everything about my pulse had ceased.
Oh my.
It was only my heart that was moving, and myself was hearing it. Every other part of my body has become cold.
Jesus.
So like a dead person. But at the time, the nurse stood and prayed to God. After prayers, he now put the needle and everything went in. So that was how I was revived that night.
Oh.
In the morning, the doctor came in and saw me because I wasn't there when she left.
Okay.
He asked them what happened. The nurses described and said this man was brought here half alive, but by the grace of God he was revived. Now the doctor said that I had high blood pressure. I said no, doc, I don't have high blood pressure.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after everything, he sent me to do a test. After doing every test, and they proved that all various diseases diagnosed negative, and the doctor said, he told me there is a high blood pressure. He gave me medicine. I went and take the doses as he prescribed it. After everything, the same sickness continued.
Okay.
What should we call that one to be?
Well, wow, thank you so much for sharing your experience. Like I always say, we cannot diagnose you on radio, right? But let's speak with Dr. Iwala. Dr. Iwala, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here, please.
Okay, let's start with the first person, Jeremiah from Wedro. Can low blood pressure cause glaucoma?
Okay.
Low this time around, not high. He's asking. And then the other person, okay, you want to respond?
Yes, I want to respond.
Go ahead, please.
So when we talk about glaucoma, you're talking about increase in the pressure within the ocular system, the eyes. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
So when there's increase in the eyes, pressure coming either intrinsically from the eyes, the person has no hypertension, but the pressure for some reason is just increasing. Maybe there's a high retinal problem or maybe refraction error that is making the eye pressure to increase. Then that is what is called glaucoma. Now, if the blood pressure is the one triggering it, it can also lead to glaucoma. So when you talk about hypertension, some people used to say low BP, they have low BP. Okay? Low BP is actually a complication of high blood pressure unchecked. That means it has been there for a long period and you don't know, it now affects the heart. Then when the heart is unable to regulate itself, you begin to notice that you are having low blood pressure. So in this situation where the heart has been compromised and it's not giving you lower value, the person just suddenly slumps and they begin to see that the heart is unable to pump blood. It can make the glaucoma to get worsened because the blood pressure, the blood that is going to the heart will not be, eyes will not be able to go there, and the person can have a sudden onset blindness. I don't know whether you understand this
I get
physiology.
you. Yes, I get you 100%.
So the heart before now is very good, and then is increasing the pressures of the eyes and all that. Then it develops a complication, and then it is unable to do its function. It begins to read low. Why? Because there is a damage within the heart system, the electrical system. Then the person say, I now have low BP. That low BP is that you have values of something like 90/60 and below. So it means that the heart is now unable to do its job. This person was before now a known hypertensive. We didn't know about it. But now he has developed a complication from the heart. Now, because of that complication, anytime there's a sudden drop in the blood pressure, because that pressure is needed to sustain supply of blood to other parts of the body. If this pressure drops down, then there's a drop in the sustained pressure of the eyes. The person goes blind.
Wow.
If in fact it's even worse, let me tell you people, this sudden death we are talking about is worse when there's hypertension than when there's hypertension.
You mean low BP? Let's come down to their level.
Low BP kills faster than high BP.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the reason is because now the heart have been begging you, check me. You refuse to check him. Now the major sensor organs is just like a car that has a sensor door, sensor from the time you want to hit something, it will sense and automatically stop. When the sensor system is no longer there, the heart automatically begins to go to low blood pressure. And in low blood pressure, what it means is that it can suddenly go below a 60 over 30 and the person will don't lie there and just pass out.
Oh my God. Okay, that has answered the question. We have yet another one, but it's a little bit complicated and lengthy. Maybe I would send you a message on that. Let's try to squeeze in more calls.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Ledon.
Good morning, Kachisin.
Yeah. Good morning, the Slim Diva.
Hello, Kachisin. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Please try to summarize, okay? We don't have much time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry about that, please.
And I wanted to narrate my experience.
No, please. We have barely 7 minutes to go, okay?
There's no need,
No need. Go ahead with what you want to say. All right. Sorry about that, Kachisin. We're trying as much as we can to cut down the time. When you call in, please go straight to the point, okay?
Hello, good morning.
He could have summarized now. Anyway, Charles for World Bank.
Okay,
Thank you.
Charles, welcome.
Let me summarize my own. I don't know if there are foods we eat that makes us vulnerable to hypertension.
Okay.
Any food? Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Charles.
All right, Dr. Iwala, you heard him. Are there things we eat that could predispose us to coming down with hypertension in terms of dieting?
Yes, significantly. It's common in Africa because our diet is mainly high salt diet. So we tell people that food that is high in sodium chloride, which is the salt, okay, and low in potassium, will increase blood pressure. Alcohol will also increase blood pressure. Tobacco will also increase blood pressure. So for food, it's because of our diet is mainly too salty. Okay, so coffee and all those stimulants will increase blood pressure, and then tobacco.
Okay.
Thank
all right.
you.
Thank you so much. Hello.
So people should
go ahead.
Yeah. So people should watch the amount of salt that is going into their mouth.
Okay.
Generally, most of these processed foods, the processes and most of the preservatives, they preserve it with sodium-based preservatives.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. 3 years ago, I had partial stroke.
Okay.
So because I'm old, I'm not an old woman, I'm a very young man, my 40s.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now, when I had that stroke, the doctors, they in the hospital, they said that I don't have BP, I don't have that high BP. I've not had any case of BP, whether low or high, before in my life, even during the time I was still giving birth. So that my cholesterol is good, that I don't have cholesterol. Then I don't know that, I don't actually know the cause of the stroke, but I know that the stroke was too bad. So nobody thought I would survive. It's just the grace of God I survived. I'm okay today. I'm the one speaking. I've gone back to my business. But there is this problem I'm still having. My fingers, can't really stretch them. I don't know what it is called in English, not tingling, but like upper shaker, that kind of a thing. I don't know the English name for that.
Is it stiff? Is it stiff or is tingling?
Yes.
Stiff.
Yes. Yes, stiff.
Okay.
Stiff. Sometimes it's very, very difficult for me to spread them. It happens on my legs, my toes, and then my fingers. And then another thing that since last year, that should be for May last year, around this time last year, I was sick again. I was rushed to the hospital, and then I had low BP. And since that time, I've been managing to control the low BP, but it's not really giving me a problem, the low BP of itself. But this thing in my hands, I don't know.
It's okay.
I've gone to so many places, I don't know how to solve the problem.
Thank you. Thank you
very
so
much.
Dr. Iwala, the last caller called in to say she's in her 40s and 3 years ago she suffered partial stroke. Although she has recovered, very well, but she's still experiencing stiffness, right? That's what she called it. Stiffness in her fingers, in her toes, and some parts of her body. And she's trying to find out if that is normal as well.
Okay. Well, it's not normal. That's why she needs to make sure that she's with a neurologist that is monitoring her, because one stroke is a high risk factor for another stroke.
So
once you have had a stroke, once you have had a stroke, it predisposes you to having another stroke.
Okay. So she should go to the hospital.
Yes, she needs to see her neurologist.
Okay.
However, what I want to say is that part of the signs and symptoms of stroke is stiffness, numbness, and paralysis of the limbs. Because the blood flow now, the nerves and the blood vessels, they are all almost gone. Okay. Do you understand?
Yes, I get
so those symptoms could be there as a result of the stroke and linger for a long while. However, with proper neurological care, the symptoms can be reversed at least barest minimum. That's why she needs to be with a neurologist. There's a wide misconception that doctors don't know how to manage stroke very well, and that it's better managed with the local traditional healers. Well, we don't agree about that. We know we help each other. But we want to say is that when you go to a medical doctor and there's a proper check, the doctor will be able to find out in the first place what caused the stroke. Is it from hypertension? Is it from high cholesterol? Is it from an aneurysm, which is a bursting of a blood vessel? And then be able to solve that problem so that there is no repeating symptom stroke again. If you have a stroke, you have a heart attack, and you're unable to find out what caused it in the first place. Yes, it's hypertension, but what was the predisposing factor? Is it that there was a narrow vessel? Is it that there was a burst vessel? Do you understand that narrowing vessel? Cholesterol, high fat diet can narrow the arteries, okay? So if the arteries are already narrow, we can use what is called angiogram, which is a CT angiogram, to find out other places where there are blocked vessels. And then the doctor will go in, open up that area, and you'll be alive. No, gone are those days where you say somebody has a stroke as a death sentence, because even if you have a blood vessel now, that blood vessels can come as a result of high cholesterol or blood clots. These blood clots can be removed within 24 hours if you know that you have a blood vessel. You just rush, the doctor will give you a small injection, we call it tissue plasminogen activator, TPA. Before you know it, the blood clot dissolves immediately and the stroke symptoms is reversed completely 100%. That's why the first hour of you seeing the severe headache or having this facial drooling, like the face is tilting one side and all that, or any signs of stroke, you should rush and see a doctor, because if you go on time, most of the symptoms that could occur, the progression can be reversed and you have a 100% recovery. Okay. The problem is that we come in 3 days, 4 days late when the whole system has been damaged.
Okay, so we're almost out of time. We have barely 2 minutes. Dr. Kamilan, if there is anything you feel we have not talked about, try as much as you can to summarize, and then your parting words as well.
Okay, I just want to talk about the modifiable risk factors for hypertension to say that we can do something. Everybody, we can do something. We can improve on our inactivity, because part of the hypertension issue is a lifestyle problem. Hypertension is a lifestyle disease, right? So if you change your lifestyle, which is your diet, begin to eat less of processed food and less of food that are high in sodium or the salt, begin to eat natural food, whole grains, okay, natural food from the farm, okay, fruits and vegetables, and then improve on your activity. Begin to do your exercise, at least 30 minutes daily. 30 minutes daily to 45 minutes daily. Make sure you walk. Don't stay on the seat for long. Modify factors such as alcohol and tobacco. If you can stop alcohol completely, fine. That is good. If you can minimize it to barest minimum, that is very optimal. Okay? Cut down stress. If you are working, let's say, in the bank, and you've been working Monday to Saturday, you're not taking your rest, please request for off and go and rest. Cut down stress and then sleep well. With every human being needs between 8 to 9 hours of sleep or 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Sleep well at night, off your phone. Don't be doing browsing at night and you're not sleeping very well, and then you go in the workplace, you come in. Please, we need to cut down the amount of stress we are exposing ourselves to, so that we can also modify our lifestyle and help our bodies age better and adapt to issues that are coming up in the future. So that's my parting word for today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kamilan Iwala. I like the part that says stress. Stress. So Nigerians and stress. We are all after the money. And to some extent, you won't blame some people, because if they do not go out there to hustle to get that money, they would not feed. But thank you for enlightening us this morning. And I hope that people would make some lifestyle changes, you know, both in dieting and, you know, daily activities. And hopefully, very soon in the nearest future, the statistics will go, you know, will reduce and drop a little bit. Thank you so much, Dr. Kamiland.
You're welcome.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. And to everyone that called in, we say thank you. Parting words before we go. Any?
Oh, I want to say, like, most times we wake up in the morning and when we are able to stretch our hands and our legs, we say, God, thank you. But we should know that we should learn to visit the hospital once in a while just to check ourselves. It will do us a lot of good.
Thank you very much. And do not say it doesn't run in your family. Nobody prays for sickness. But the message we're passing on this morning, even in pharmacies, they have what you can use to check your blood pressure. All you need to do is walk in there at your convenience if the hospital is far from where you stay. So if you make it a daily habit or maybe a weekly habit, I don't know, depending on your body system, trust me,
yourself.
Yes, it will not predispose you to sudden death, okay? We have to go. Thank you, everyone. My name is Mary, the Slim Diva, your most adorable.
And I am Judge Dawn Ekom.
Thank you, DJ J-Boy. Up next is the news at noon.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
This week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How you can suspend me here? How we are slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo, and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People. It's the news at noon on Echo FM 100.7.
Good afternoon to you and welcome to the Global News at Noon right here on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri, the station with fair and balanced reporting. My name is Mary Omeniwode, bringing you the latest news and breaking stories around the world. Here are the headlines. Umahi orders urgent Echo Bridge investigation as federal government moves to prevent structural collapse. OT pledges to keep security as top priority in Abia State. U.S.-Iran war, federal government rejects a subsidy and price control return. And on the foreign scene, UK advocates media freedom in Nigeria. Australia to consult with LNG exporters to reserve 20% of gas for domestic market. And on sports news, Simeon louds Lookman and teammates despite UCL exit. Details shortly. we start off with national stories that says the Minister of Works, David Umahi, has directed that investigations into structural concerns on the Echo Bridge be concluded within 10 days to allow the federal government proceed with the next phase of rehabilitation works on the critical Lagos transport infrastructure. Umahi, while addressing concerns over the condition of the bridge, apologized to residents of Lagos for the traffic disruptions expected during the repair period. He explained that parts of the bridge had suffered extensive fire damage in the past as a result of traders storing chemicals and other combustible materials beneath the structure. Umahi disclosed that the rehabilitation contract for the bridge had been awarded before the current administration assumed office. However, the project suffered delay due to inadequate funding. According to him, President Bola Tinubu later approved renewed funding support to ensure the continuation of the project. The minister further revealed that the federal government was also planning rehabilitation works on the third mainland bridge following growing concerns over deteriorating structural components. And back to the southeast, Governor Alex Oti has reiterated his administration's commitment to prioritizing security in Abia State, saying sustainable development cannot thrive in an unsafe environment. Oti stated this while receiving a delegation of the Alumni Association of the 7th regular course of the Nigerian Naval College, led by A.O. Bamidele at the Government House, Umuahia. The governor stressed the importance of security to governance and development, noting that his administration would continue to place it at the center of its policies. Oti expressed appreciation to the delegation for their decision to host their 40th anniversary reunion in Abia State, describing it as a strong vote of confidence in the ongoing transformation across the state. The governor further directed the Special Advisor on Security, Navy Commander MacDonald Uba, retired, who is equally an alumnus of the 7th regular course of the college, to liaise with the association to ensure seamless collaboration and adequate support for the forthcoming event. While acknowledging the commendations from the delegation on the strides made by Governor Alex Oti's administration, he noted that the progress recorded so far is only the beginning. And reports say detectives attached to the Ijebu-Imushin division of Ogun State Police Command have reportedly foiled a truck hijacking incident and successfully recovered the truck, as well as a wooden fabricated rifle wrapped in black tape. The incident, according to a statement issued by the spokesperson for the State Police Command, DSP Oluseyi Babasheyi, was reported following a distress call by a driver who was accosted by hoodlums while conveying motor spare parts. Babasheyi explained that preliminary findings revealed that the driver was intercepted by suspected hoodlums in the Oke-Ado area of Ijebu East local government area of the state, where the truck was forcefully taken away from him. He further stated that detectives, in collaboration with highway patrol operatives, swiftly mobilized to the scene, forcing the suspects to abandon the truck and flee under pressure. The Commissioner of Police, Bode Ojandrini, commended the swift and professional response of the operatives and reassured the public of the command's unwavering commitment to ensuring the safety of all road users and residents. And over to the northern part of Nigeria, the Sokoto state government has confirmed the death of 33 children following a fresh outbreak of cerebrospinal meningitis in parts of the state, as health authorities battle a growing number of infections. Cerebrospinal meningitis is a deadly infection that causes inflammation of the protective membranes covering the brain and the spinal cord. It spreads easily during the dry and hot season, particularly in overcrowded communities with poor ventilation. Northern Nigeria, including Sokoto State, falls within Africa's meningitis belt, a region known for recurring outbreaks. Confirming the outbreak, Commissioner for Health Farouk Abubakar disclosed this during an advocacy meeting with district heads. He noted that most of the deaths occurred in communities before victims could be taken to health facilities, blaming delayed treatment and widespread misconception that the illness is spiritual rather than a serious medical emergency. It's exactly 8 minutes past noon. If you just joined us, you are listening to the Global News at Noon right here on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. Here's a recap of the headlines. Umahi orders urgent Echo Bridge investigation as federal government moves to prevent structural collapse. OT pledges to keep security as top priority in Abia State. U.S.-Iran war, federal government rejects subsidy, price control return. And on the foreign scene, UK advocates media freedom in Nigeria. Australia to consult with LNG exporters to reserve 20% of gas for domestic markets. And on sports news still to come, Simeon louts Lookman and teammates despite UCL exit. Details after this break. Stay tuned.
Did you know that certain harmful practices can negatively impact your health and well-being? If you wish to live a healthy lifestyle, avoid excessive alcohol consumption, engage in regular exercise and physical activity to boost energy levels, prevent chronic diseases, and keep you fit. Quit smoking and vaping to prevent lung cancer and respiratory problems. Limit your intake of highly processed foods and eat more of fruits and vegetables. Do not drink and drive. Do not use gadgets such as phones and tablets while driving. Do not forget to strap your seatbelt or wear helmets while operating automobiles. Do not engage in poor hygiene and sanitation practices. Above all, do not neglect your mental health. Stress, anxiety, and depression can worsen symptoms and impact daily life. Remember, small changes today can lead to a healthier tomorrow. This message is brought to you by
Echo 100.7.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just tuned in, you are listening to the Global News at Noon right here on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. And now, business news. The federal government has ruled out a return to fuel subsidies and the introduction of price control despite rising global oil prices triggered by tensions between the United States and Iran. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, spoke during engagement with global investors in Paris, where he highlighted Nigeria's economic outlook and reform trajectory. In a statement, Oyedele stated that Nigeria would maintain its market-driven approach, stressing that subsidy removal remains irreversible to prevent distortions in the economy. He noted that from around 200 naira per litre, petrol prices jumped above 500 naira when President Bola Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy during his inaugural speech on May 29, 2023. Since then, the price has been on the upward swing, hitting 1,200 naira in 2024 before Dangote Petroleum Refinery's interventions. With the Dangote refinery, fuel prices were reduced to an average of 800 naira per litre until the Middle East tension caused disruptions in global oil supplies and triggered price hikes. Oyedele therefore stressed that the government will not bring back the fuel subsidy because it creates distortions for the economy, and they won't introduce price control due to the markets. And on the foreign scene, the British High Commission in Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting media freedom and ethical journalism in Nigeria. The British Deputy High Commissioner Johnny Baxter stated this during a roundtable session at the British High Commission-sponsored training on advancing press freedom through science and technology journalism for Nigerian journalists. Baxter stated that the United Kingdom remained committed to supporting independent journalism in Nigeria, noting that the training reflected a shared belief in the role of a free press in shaping public discourse. He stressed that in an era of rapid technological advancement, accurate and ethical reporting had become more critical, warning against the dangers of unverified information. Baxter further noted that the UK would continue to engage Nigerian media through dialogue and training to strengthen cooperation and improve public communication. He also referenced the recent state visit of President Bola Tinubu to the United Kingdom, noting that collaboration with the media is essential in ensuring accurate information flow and accountability. And still on the foreign scene, Australia will require major gas exporters to reserve 20% of their export volumes for domestic use under the new gas reservation scheme, Energy Minister Chris Bowen stated, as the country seeks to ease pressure from a prolonged energy crisis. Bowen noted that the government finalized the model after months of consultations with the industry. He stated that the measure is intended to ensure a modest oversupply in the domestic gas market, putting downward pressure on prices while providing certainty for industry, households, and gas-fired power plants supporting renewable energy. The policy will apply to future contracts and the spot market, while existing contracts will remain unaffected, he said. Resources Minister Mandolin King confirmed that the scheme would require liquefied natural gas (LNG) exporters to supply 20% of their total export production to the domestic market beginning July 1, 2027. And lastly, in the world of sports, despite their elimination by Arsenal FC in the semi-finals of this season's UEFA Champions League, Diego Simeone believes his Atletico Madrid side had a good campaign. Atletico were knocked out 2-1 on aggregate by Arsenal FC following a 1-0 defeat at the Emirates Stadium. A 45th minute strike from Bukayo Saka proved decisive, sending Mikel Arteta's side into the Champions League final for the first time in 20 years, while Atletico last reached the final a decade ago. Lookman endured a difficult outing at the Emirates and was substituted for Alexander Sørloth in the 57th minute. However, Simeone refrained from criticizing his players during his post-match interview. Lookman's exit brings an end to his European campaign, during which he made 14 appearances across spells with Atalanta BC and Atletico Madrid following his €35 million move in the winter transfer window. He recorded 3 goals and 3 assists in the competition. And that's all for the global news at noon this afternoon from our news desk. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms on Facebook at Echo FM, X at Echo FM_Owerri, Instagram at Echo FM 100.7, and YouTube at Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting www.echofm.net. That is www.echofm.net. My name is Mary Omeniwode. Thank you for listening and do have yourselves a lovely afternoon.